The night it happened, the city was slick with rain. The kind of rain that didn't fall. It just hovered, thick in the air, like the whole world was exhaling grief. Natalie had just come back from a gallery opening in Soho. She hadn't even taken off her heels when she saw Bodhi lying by the kitchen island, panting. Not the tired pant from a long walk. This was something else. His eyes wouldn't meet hers. His tongue was dry. His belly looked distended. A low, primal fear flickered in her chest. She tried to coax him up. "Come on, bud. Let's go." Nothing. She opened the Uber app with trembling fingers, clicked pet-friendly vehicle, and scooped him into her arms like he weighed nothing, as if sheer willpower could make her arms stronger, as if she could carry the whole situation on her back. The driver didn't speak. He turned up the jazz station as Natalie cradled Bodhi in the back seat, whispering to him over and over like a prayer. "It's okay. I got you. I got you." The clinic was in Tribeca, one of those ultra-modern places that looked more like a wellness spa than a vet hospital. She'd found it on a whim last year when Bodhi had torn a nail, and she couldn't deal with the dingy place in her neighborhood. The reviews said things like they saved my Persian's life, and more expensive than a car payment, but worth it. This time, when they wheeled him in, Natalie noticed something she hadn't before. The staff didn't rush. Not in a bad way. In a terrifyingly calm, controlled way, like they were used to emergencies that cost more than tuition. One vet came out in dark blue scrubs and said, "We're going to do a scan now. Please wait here." She waited. An hour passed. Then another. She couldn't sit still, so she wandered. She passed rooms with names like Zen Suite and Recovery Oasis. She saw a teacup poodle in an oxygen bubble, a Great Dane being monitored via iPad, a massage therapist working on a senior cat with arthritis. A woman in a Chanel blazer was arguing over whether the clinic's nutritionist had enough credentials to create a custom meal plan for her Bengal. It felt surreal. Natalie fell out of place in her wet clothes and mascara-smudged eyes. But none of it mattered when the vet finally came back with a chart and the words, "It's an obstruction. If we don't remove it surgically, he won't survive the night." He handed her the estimate, $19,734.46. There was a moment, not hesitation, but suspension, as if her brain had paused to see if her heart would flinch. It didn't. She signed without asking questions. She handed over her Amex like it was Monopoly money. The vet nodded with the practiced expression of someone who sees his choice every day, someone who knows love looks ridiculous when it costs this much. The surgery lasted 6 hours. They'd found a tightly compressed water cloth lodged in Bodhi's intestines, likely from one of his favorite toys. It had started necrotizing. Another few hours, and he'd have gone septic. Natalie didn't cry until she saw him in post-op, bandaged, shaved, sleeping. Machines beeping. His nose twitching faintly like he was dreaming of squirrels. She sat beside him through the night. Wrapped in a fleece blanket the nurse brought her. Somewhere around 4 a.m., she Googled people who spent over $20,000 to save a dog. The first result was a Reddit thread. The second was a Forbes article. The third was a video. A woman in L.A. who paid $37,000 for cancer treatment for her dachshund. The comments were brutal. "Are you insane? That's a down payment on a house. Let nature do its job." Natalie closed the tab. She didn't need anyone to understand. Bodhi came home 3 days later, moving slow but alive. The clinic sent him home with custom kibble, anti-nausea meds, and a plush robe that said, "VI patient." They called twice a day to check in. Natalie spent nights on the floor next to him, spoon-feeding water from a silicone syringe, speaking softly in the dark. "We're okay now. We made it." She took a week off work, told clients she had food poisoning. It wasn't a lie, just not the whole story. The Amex bill came a month later. She paid it in full, and then she wrote about it, not for validation, but because something inside her needed release. She posted a raw, unfiltered story on Medium titled, "The Night I Spent $20,000 to Save My Dog's Life." No sponsors, no clickbait. It went viral in 4 days. People emailed her from Sweden, Singapore, Cape Town. One woman wrote, "I thought I was crazy for mortgaging my Jeep to save my husky. Thank you for making me feel human. A producer from Netflix met her. We're working on a docuseries about the emotional side of modern veterinary medicine. Would you be open to an interview? She ignored the hate comments. There were a few, of course. Rich girl problems. You should have donated that to kids in Africa. But she'd already made peace with it, because there are things that don't make sense on paper. Things the world calls impractical. Things that come with wet noses and wagging tails, and the way they look at you like you're the entire reason the sun rises. And in that sterile room, with the machines and antiseptic and overpriced care, Natalie had realized something that would stick with her forever. Sometimes love is irrational, and sometimes that's the point.